Alright, let's give it a go. So, this is going to be a tutorial for the Knuckles run of Sonic 2. Which is the faster way to run Sonic 2, by the way. And I'll be trying to go over everything that I do specifically, and anything which is not covered in the older tutorial or Zergriff's editions. But shout out to Sega Junkie, Mike and Zergriff for the previous tutorials on this. There's all this stuff you have to say before you get immediately into the levels, such as how to do basic stuff optimally if you want, what the differences between Knuckles and Sonic is. So I guess I'll say that first. Knuckles doesn't have a speed cap. Whenever you spin dash, and you should be spin dashing like this by the way to get optimum spin dash speed. 3 button. You can use your thumb on a controller or 3 fingers. See the inputs in the bottom left, those are going to be helpful throughout. But yeah, tap 6 times and then release down as quickly as possible after you tap the 6th time. That's how you get the fastest possible spin dash. And in general, with Knuckles, as soon as you spin dash, you want to be holding the direction you're going, because it won't snap you to the speed cap at any point, because Knuckles has a fixed speed cap, a la Sonic 3. And then the other thing with Knuckles, just with normal movement wise, is, for example, right at the start here, you do the first spin dash, you're coming along here. If you want to jump and spin and stop to spin dash again, you don't have to do that like Sonic. You can do that. So you want to glide by pressing the jump again while you're in the air, and then immediately let go of that to land stationary, because when you're landing from a glide, Knuckles lands completely stationary. There is some downside to this. In some places you might even want to stop like Sonic instead, because it could be slightly faster. Because you have to wait for Knuckles to finish this crouch animation as he lands before you can crouch and start to spin dash again. Knuckles' jump height is also lower. If you do a full jump as Knuckles, it's not going to go very high. I'll point out the places where that actually matters though, the main places, not too many. And apart from that, oh yeah, you can't, if you're in the air and you want to piano a jump as you land to jump the frame that you land, or close to the frame that you land, you can't really do that as Knuckles, because you'll end up gliding just before you land, probably. So if you're doing normal jumps, you're going to have to use one jump button, which is a change to playing Sonic 1 for me, but that's the thing. There are still places where you can piano, and it's normally places where if you've run off a ledge, so you haven't already jumped, so you can't glide by hitting the jump again while in the air there. If you're running fast off a ledge and you want to jump like before you hit the ground, that'll happen in level 2 anyway. Knuckles don't chuckle. He chuckles every cutscene you possibly see him in Sonic 3 pretty much. I'll get to the gliding mechanic when it becomes relevant in Aquatic Run 2. That's it. Okay. So let's get going with level 1, I guess. So shout out to my collaborator Haiti for this, or Artie Knuckles, or however you're supposed to pronounce Haiti. Anyway, spin dashing at the start, not jumping up there like Sonic, jumping up here and glide stopping on this. Spin dashing again, holding down over the bridge. If you spin dash fast enough like a good player, you'll get to here. It's optimal to jump just before the spring once the ground flattens out, but you can jump on the slope, it's still fine. Hold right to here. As you're on top of the spring, holding jump, full jump only just gets you to there with Knuckles. As soon as you land, do a tap jump. Land on the speed choose. Roll when you're about to collect the 3rd ring. Hold right all the way. Oh, that's slightly too early of a roll right there. Hold right to bounce off that box. And there's many different variations of how you're going to bounce off the box in the next box, but you'll start to learn them and adjust whether to tap left or let go of right while in the air to make sure you land on the next box. No, not quite. Bounce with that box. And the next box, we're holding right all the way through here, really. If you see it hit that spring right there, you suddenly hit the spring, you have to tap left for a split second while you're flying through the air for that spring, otherwise you bonk. Okay, with loop jumps, you're gonna want to jump off them about here so that you cut the left-hand side. The best loop jump you can get is about that angle. It doesn't really seem to speed Knuckles up that much, particularly if you're already going at this speed anyway. So, holding right till here, jumping anywhere off here to get to the end, and you can get 20 seconds is the good time, 19 seconds is the even better time. 21 is acceptable, oh yes. Alright. This one, you need a really good spin dash at the very start. If you want to do this, there's a couple of different ways you can do it slightly safer than this, but... So, just to point out, this tutorial I'm going to be trying to say the like optimal, fastest way first, and then if there's any extra ways of doing things, I'll go back over that second, slash third, etc. So if you find one way like ridiculously hard, you can check for a second way. If I mention it afterwards. So yeah, there's different speeds of spin dash. I guess that's how I'm gonna start this level. Just to accommodate for everyone who hasn't got deep into spin dashing before. You have your 6 tap, which is pressing the button 6 times and then releasing the down button. But that's not just one speed of spin dash, you'll still get completely different speeds of spin dash because every frame you wait after pressing the 6 button and releasing the down button is a bit of speed lost. So for every frame you wait before releasing the down button, you slow down slightly. So the perfect spin dash, as it's called, is to release down the frame after you press your 6th jump button, charging up the spin dash. And then you can have 1 frame off perfect, where you've released down 1 frame after that, 2 frames off perfect, you release down 2 after that, etc. And then you can have stuff like only tapping the buttons 5 times on purpose to get particular speeds, or 4 times. But we don't need to use that yet, I'll point out any times of that. So this one is just trying to get it as fast as possible. So you want either a perfect spin dash or a 1 off perfect. I think 2 off perfect works, but then your jump window becomes way smaller. So if you do a really good spin dash here, you have to hold down while going over this bridge, otherwise the fish kill you. So make sure you're not holding right and down, because you don't roll in this game when you hold both of those. You have to only hold down. And then you want to jump a frame or 2 earlier than this, so you don't bonk on these spikes. And if you have a good speed spin dash and you jump there, you'll clear those spikes and land all the way up here next to this box. So good speed spin dash, hold down, jump there, land up here. That's normally easy with Sonic, but with Knuckles' low jump height, that jump is actually pretty precise. As long as you're running flush with the left side of this box, you can do a spin dash, just do any small spin dash. Like 3 tap is probably optimal, so you don't have to press the buttons more than once. And hold right immediately out of the box, and it just sets you running. Whenever you spin dash right up against the box, you are not rolling anymore after coming through the other side, you just start running, which is what we want because you have speed cheese now, so running is going to be faster. Oh yeah, I should go over the different way of doing this if you don't want to make that a difficult jump. So if you feel your spin dash isn't fast enough or you're not quite going to make it, you should just jump over the spike, stop here, and then re-jump up there, which is fairly self-explanatory, but just as a way to go. So that's the monkey jump that you want. Alright, let's see. So here, yeah, this is the frame if you're pausing to look for this. And it is helpful to pause because it kind of gives you two chances to hit the 1 frame window as opposed to just jumping and getting 1 chance. If you pause, you have a chance, if you've paused early, to see how many frames you are off of it, 1 frame, 2 frame, etc. and then jump that many frames after unpausing. So, and we're holding right all the way through here because there's no speed cap. So if you pause on this frame, you can jump and you can unpause and jump the frame after you unpause, which is a really helpful skill for doing various glitches in classic Sonic games, especially Sonic 1, but yeah, there you go, that's the jump the frame after unpausing. You're holding right and holding jump so that you bounce high off that monkey all the way, hold right to here, and then little jump off there, and you'll fall down between these 2 guys and be down in this section. So before I cover that section, we're going to go the other way that you can go here. So you get these speed shoes and just continue running off of here. once you're on this slope, hold left to slow down because this platform will be in a cycle that won't let you through. If you slow down enough, you'll be able to fall down through there, through the platform. Hold right, do a jump off here. And you'll be in this loop section going on the middle path instead of the top path. And then do the loop jumps in the same place, kind of there. Those are slightly too early for loop jumps actually. We're holding right all the way through and you're back in this place, so that's where the paths meet up. Once you're back in this place, you're still holding right. Oh yeah, you might need to let go of right to make that spring springy. Sometimes it just doesn't spring you if you don't let go of right for a split second for some reason. But yeah, still holding right all the way through there because we will have speed shoes. And your next jump location is right at the end of this bridge here. Do a full jump here. I need speed shoes to show the correct route. Oh, this is 1 frame late. When you're 1 frame late, this happens. You'll have to jump. Either bonk on the spring, jump and glide onto it. Fastest way to get it, carry on getting up there. And this is 1 frame early. If you're 1 frame early, you land on the spikes. If you know you're 1 frame early, then you can avoid landing on the spikes, but anyway, once we're at this section, we're holding right, jumping here. Oh, that was slightly early jump. You either hit that monkey or not. You need to land on this section and slow down slightly. And if you slow down enough, then you won't hit those spikes. That's the plan there. This is what I'm talking about with you can pause slightly early. See that I'm 2 frames away and try and jump 2 frames after I'm pausing, just for another chance at it. And I'm going by like the literal pixels that Knuckles is running across the grass, like just recognizing the positions. Okay. And a full jump there. Hit the monkey. Slow down in the air just before I land there. You can roll through that section it'll clear the spikes in the roof slightly better and the fly might not hit you. Once you're in here, holding right again. You want to actually slow down once you hit this last waterfall about here. Slow down a little bit and then jump off of this little upward slope you can see in the ground where Knuckles' right foot is. I guess that's his left foot. Where his forward foot is here. And that'll get you a nice angle to do another full jump going into here. Still trying to hold right as much as possible through all this section. We roll through this box, land on here. This is somewhere you can piano the jumps, because if you're going fairly fast, you roll out here. You want to jump off of this flat section before you get down onto the downward slope there. If you piano a jump on a downward slope ever with Knuckles, you just glide immediately, almost all of the time. Pianoing a jump off of a flat bit of ground, there's some buffer before Knuckles can start gliding in the air, so it doesn't make him glide immediately, but for some reason on a downward slope, you just glide immediately most of the time, if you're going fast anyway. Like that. Weird. Anyway, you come out of that section from rolling through that box, you land on this flat, you piano a jump, and that should land you up there. I guess I'll get to it again. Okay, slow down slightly. Jump immediately, or almost immediately, as quickly as you can off of this when you land. If you're up the slope slightly, you'll be up here, which is good. Bonking your head on the ceiling is even better, I believe. Either way, holding right all the way through, as long as you don't bonk on anything, go at any ridiculous angles. You hold right with speed shoes all the way to here, and then you're at the boss fight. And the boss fight, you want to wait on the right hand side the entire time he's coming in, and the cue you're looking for is when he is here, once the black line of his chopper is about to touch down, over there. Then you start holding left, you roll just before you get to his back wheel, you get 4 hits there. There's 2 different ways of doing this fight, one is like half a second faster. So if you're not touching the wall and you're just kind of on the right hand side of this little grass slope in the foreground, that's when you can do the faster fight where you bounce on him 3 times. Oh my god. Hopefully I was good at the game. Alright, so you're going to jump from here, land on him. Before you make contact with him, this will be very apparent for the casino boss as well when we get there. Before you make contact with him, you want to hold the opposite direction to the way you want to actually bounce off of. So if you're holding left while running into the boss to the left, the way you'll bounce off of him will force you way back further to the right than if you stop holding left and hold right for a split second as you bounce off of him. If that makes sense. If you switch to holding the the opposite direction just as you hit him, and then switch back to holding the direction you actually want to drift in the air. So that's the fast kill. You get 3 bounces on top of him, and the bounces on top of him involve switching to right just as you hit him, depending on what side you're hitting him on. And then for the 4th hit, as soon as you've got the 3rd bounce, you immediately you hold right and glide. You can kind of reverse your glides if you want to glide in the opposite direction, switch your momentum around. You hold the direction you want to go just before you start gliding. So with that 4th hit, as soon as you've got the 3rd bounce, you just glide to the right towards him again. The easy way of doing it is you roll, maybe even slightly later, but not that late, geez. At the same timing, start running left at the same timing, you hit the left side of the screen, wait for him to come back on, jump, jump, and you land with a glide that will hit him in the back. So you glide as late as possible while going into the ground. And then if you're that far away, you do a spin dash. You have to actually wait slightly longer than you think to spin dash, otherwise you'll just be crouching on the ground and you do a jump. Or the actual fast way, bounce, bounce, glide into him, and then immediately do another glide is the way to go. So yeah, you need to double tap for the 4th one to get the glide instantly there. So you're jumping and gliding immediately onto the ground. Anyway, that's not actually a hard boss as much as I made it look like.